Next guest speaker is Mr. Jagan Chitiprilu, who is the CEO of C2S Technologies Incorporated and founder of Naviz Analytics. Mr. Chitiprilu is an alumnus of Harvard Business School in the Senior Executive Leadership Program and has attained a master's degree in mathematics from Osmania University. He's a serial entrepreneur and software executive with over 21 years of experience in the software industry. He built C2S Technologies from scratch and then Naviz Analytics, a data and IoT company in India. In India, he launched an agri-tech company called Samhita.ag to help Indian farmers increase profitability by using sustainable methodologies. Let's welcome Mr. Chitiprilu to deliver his keynote address on improving rural agriculture using IoT technology.
So thank you very much. And so first of all, thank you very much, Lead India Foundation, Foundation Chairman, Dr. Hari Ipanapalli. And second, so Professor Dr. Srinivas Kumar, JNTU, Anantapur Vice Chancellor, Congo Queen, DMB, and distinguished guests around the globe. And today, I wanted to talk about some of the case studies that we have been doing it, and especially in India. And I wanted to connect some of my experiences, and at the same time, I want to connect some of the solutions that we have been building, both United States and in India. So first of all, I'm a technologist and I run a data company, and I've been building solutions for several customers, especially in United States. And some of the customers are into the agribusiness as well. And these agribusiness customers grow predominantly grapes from Napa Valley and Western Washington from United States. And as part of these implementations, we have been helping them to build some software solutions and hardware solutions. And what we have been doing with them is that we build sensor equipments, and we collect the drones data, we collect the imagery data, and we stitch together and provide the software platforms to these agri growers. And some of them are viticulturists, some of them are plant experts, some of them are agronomists. And we have been working with them since the last several years. And they use our platforms, and they make sure that they maintain the orchard health and farm operations. And their objective is to bring the yield, and also making sure that their plants are very healthy. So that's their core objective. And apart from that, the scale that they operate at, those growers usually have right around from 1,000 acres to 2,000 acres and 3,000 acres. So since the technology is a key enabler for them to be successful, and this journey, so when I go back, I want to connect back the childhood journey, so that you will see in terms of what kind of experience that I came from. And back in India, I was born and brought up in a small village. And my childhood, I grew along the side of farmers. And in fact, my grandfather used to be a farmer as well. And so I did see both spectrums from well-developed nations, how they're farming. And also I did see that how the farming is being done in India by not having any technologies. And so I did see the two different spectrums, both sides. And so I was in a constant quest to how do I take these technologies and solutions back to emerging markets such as India or Africa. And as part of that, in fact, we have a facility back in one of the facility in Rwanda as well. Since the Congo Queen Diambe is there, I wanted to mention that one of our center is also in Rwanda in Africa. And in fact, so basically, like this idea came, and I went to India several times and met several scientists and plant experts and agronomists back in India. And I've told them that how can we take this technology back to India? And based on that research, we figured it out that the fundamental problems in India farmers are facing is two fundamental problems they are facing. One is they are unable to increase their yield, and the second one is that they are unable to maintain the plant health. So we further deep dived into it and understand what are the major reasons are happening to this kind of issues why the farmers are facing. And in our research, interestingly, one of the interesting topic is that India has before 1965, India used to do lots of organic farming, but right after 1965, India started using because of this green revolution. India started using lots of fertilizers and pesticides, and because of that, the farmers are getting doubling their yield. But apparently, the green revolution was very helpful in the seasonal crops such as rice, paddy. But whereas it has become a very big disaster to perennial crops such as grapes, bananas, and all sort of fruits. So, so basically, because of this green revolution, there are lots of fertility being used, so that is directly impacting to the soil imbalance. So that soil is losing the nutrients, and also it cannot be reversible. So basically, once it is damage is happened, it cannot be reversed back. That's a fundamental issue. And another issue is also the farmers are facing is that crop mortality. So crop mortality is another issue where after the 8th year of their crops, and we have been observing that the 50% of the crops have been started increasing their mortality, and after 12th year, most of them, like 80% of the crop is completely getting damaged. So this is one of the biggest issue that Indian farmers are facing, and also technically the farmers were not aware of this actually, in fact. And the second issue to be discussed is that one of the other issues is that the water salinity, because too much salt in the water, that is directly impacting to the plant health, and also it can also imbalance the NPK factors in the in the plant. And third area is another area that I want to discuss is that the plant disease. So because the farmers are not equipped with the right technologies, and they are unable to predict or are unable to see the upcoming diseases. Some of the diseases, for example, insects sitting on the leaves, where human eye cannot be able to detect them initial stage, and by the time they noticed it, they cannot be able to reverse it back. So these are the fundamental issues. Along with there are other also some of the other issues such as uh, 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 like microclimate conditions, and the and another thing is that they are unable to bring the producer to the right market, so they are not getting the right pricing for their producers. So there are many variants that farmers are facing these kind of issues. Now, when it comes to when the question comes whether the India, especially the 82% of the Indian farmers are small and marginal farmers. So the very fundamental question comes to us is that whether they can be able to afford these kind of technologies, such as because our technologies involved both telemetries, sensors, spatial data, and drones is involved. And when it comes to the small and marginal farmers, can they be able to afford it? But our research has found out that they were okay to pay. They are okay to pay the advisory cost to the farm benefits. So we took that as a benchmarking price, and we did a further research that how can we solve this fundamental problem to help the farmers in India. And that is where our team had advised us that let us build a massive infrastructure in India, where the massive infrastructure could be in the form of software systems, and the massive infrastructure could be the hardware infrastructure, where we can be able to produce the hardware sensors and telemetries in under our in a one roof, so that we are not going to be depending on the third party vendors. So that way we can significantly reduce the cost, and also we can be able to build a shared talent in terms of both plant experts and technical advisors and the field technicians. Basically, we built this whole model in the form of hub and spoke model. And with this model, we are actually right now in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. We are actually deployed already, and we have been serving the farmers in 4 districts in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. And Nalgonda is one among them, and second is Mahabubnagar, Anantapur, as well as the Kadapa. So these are the 4 districts we have deployed it. All our team, there are around 50 people team are working on the field, and the technology team Hyderabad is also working behind the scene to help these rural farming areas farmers. And apart from that, the farmer, one of the core objective for us is that we wanted to make sure that the farmer should not spend any cost in terms of the capex. So we made sure that the farmer should only be paying the service to us in the form of opex based. And with this model, it is going very effectively, and farmers are getting benefited, and we are in the um, outcome of delivering the, so basically we are delivering the plant health and increase in the yield. And because our systems are capturing huge amount of data from the field, and with this kind of commitment that we have the great hope that we can take this agri farming to the next leap for the future generations, as well as, so our promise is that we are uplifting rural economy directly by helping the farmers. And the second thing is that we are creating an employment in at rural part of the countries. And also I wanted to thank Indian government who have taken the great initiatives to deploy the networks such as 3G and 4G to the rural part of the country. Now we are not seeing any major network issues. And also the next immediate hope for us is that there is going to be 5G network is going to be coming. And we are very confident that the network issues are going to be completely removed. And with this promise, we wanted to help the rural farmers. That's our one of the mission and vision statement that we have been running on. And so with that note, I wanted to thank you all for giving me this opportunity to speak in front of distinguished world speakers uh, and many audience. So thank you all for giving me this opportunity.